Hey guys, it's Nick from this here. Today I have a long overdue Budokai Tenkaichi 4 video. Easily the most iconic part from the Tenkaichi games was the sheer size of the rosters, having more unique playable characters than any other DBZ game before it. So it's pretty obvious that fans have high expectations for the roster of the new game. This video is just going to be me delving into 10 characters from the Dragon Ball franchise I'd love to see make their way to the next game. So I'm not going to be listing characters like Goku and Vegeta, who are obviously going to be in the game. I'm also not going to mention important characters from Dragon Ball Super like Hit, Goku Black, or Beerus, who are more likely to be on the main roster since the new game is going to be covering Super content. This list is for more obscure characters or really new characters who haven't been in a Tenkaichi game yet that I'd love to see added into the new one. So let's begin. Starting off my list is Tarble. I would love to see Vegeta's younger brother, Tarble, introduced to the Budokai Tenkaichi series. Tarble debuted in the special Yo! Son Goku and Friends Return, and was referenced in the movie Battle of Gods. Raging Blast 2 even made him a playable character, and did a great job with him. Tarble's a niche, interesting character that could definitely be a fun addition. He doesn't really have any crazy special attacks, but I always thought his ultimate attack in Raging Blast 2 was hilarious, just destroying his Saiyan pod. We could even get his Ozaru form as a first playable appearance. It just seems fitting to have Vegeta's brother on the roster. Next up is Orange Piccolo. Piccolo's badass new form needs to be in this game. As a huge Piccolo fan, I've been waiting on his power-up for years, and Xenoverse 2 did an excellent job with him. It's only fair that we see him playable in Tenkaichi 4. It would be perfect getting to transform as base form Piccolo into the orange form. The only reason that I mention him on my list is because Dragon Ball Super Superhero is still a relatively new movie, but hopefully by the time this game finally releases, Orange Piccolo, Beast Gohan, Cell Max, and the Gammas will make the cut. I just had to mention Orange Piccolo specifically because he's my favorite thing about the movie. Next up is Copy Vegeta. Copy Vegeta was a very cool filler character to me. I loved the concept and just thought it was by far the best filler arc from Dragon Ball Super. Obviously we'll get Goku Black, so why don't we get Evil Vegeta? I kinda doubt he's gonna make it into the game, but I would love to see it, especially if they go for an even bigger roster than any Tenkaichi game before. Brian Drummond, the Ocean dub voice of Vegeta, reprising his role to voice Vegeta's doppelganger was a really cool callback, and I would love to hear him return for a Funimation dubbed video game. So far, Copy Vegeta is only playable in one of the mobile games, Dokkan Battle. Tiencha. Tiencha was always my favorite what-if fusion from the old Budokai games. I was so hyped when I finally unlocked him, and was so sad to find out the only game he's ever appeared in was Budokai 2. More recently, he's appeared in Dokkan Battle and the 3DS game Dragon Ball Fusions, but I would really love to see him make his way to the Tenkaichi franchise. I know a lot of the fanbase loves seeing hypothetical fusions, and as a huge Tien and Yamcha fan, there's no better choice than Tiencha for me. I always kinda hoped Tien and Yamcha would fuse, especially in Dragon Ball Super, to try and power them up a bit and make them more useful, but sadly, it still never happened. Again, I kinda doubt we will see Tiencha's return, but I think he would be a great fit, with unique attacks like the Dodo Hameha and interactions with the likes of Gotenks and Gogeta. Next up is Paragus. My friend and I came to the realization when we were younger that Broly's father Paragus has never been properly playable before in any Dragon Ball Z video game. To this day, the only game Paragus has been playable in is Dragon Ball Heroes, the Japanese arcade game, which to me still doesn't really count. I feel like if Paragus was added to BT4, it would be the Dragon Ball Super version, and I admit it might be kinda hard to give Paragus an exciting moveset since we don't really see him do much, but then again they've made Tarble playable before, so I think they could definitely do Paragus justice too. I'd rather see the Z version playable, or even both of them, just to give my boy Paragus some justice finally. General Rildo. Rildo is another badass GT villain that was skipped in the old games, only being playable in Dragon Ball Heroes and the mobile game Dragon Ball Legends. I always found him to be an interesting villain growing up, which is rare, as usually minor villains aren't very memorable, but General Rildo and his various transformations definitely stuck in my mind. His multiple forms, giant drill hands, and liquid metal abilities would make him such a fun character to play. Anytime GT is used in a video game, the only villains we ever see commonly are the main ones. I'd like to see some more side characters get the spotlight in this game. Come on, just make this roster as big as possible. That's what we all want. Now, it wouldn't be a good list without Monaka. Move over, Mr. Satan. There's another gag character around. Monaka would be a funny character to see. Even though he's weak and not a true fighter, they could definitely come up with a fun moveset for him. I'd love for them to recreate the way he defeated Hit as his ultimate attack. Maybe Beerus could even get his Monaka mascot costume as an alternate look. Teen Goten. It's interesting to note that mostly every GT version of characters have been playable over the years, except for Goten. We've gotten GT Goku, GT Vegeta, GT Trunks, Super Saiyan 4s, Pan, Oob, and even the villains, but no main game has introduced GT Goten as a playable character. I think Dokkan Battle is the only game that has him, and personally I don't find the mobile games do these characters justice the same way as the console games. So I find it to be a real shame, as I really enjoyed Goten in Dragon Ball GT. It was nice seeing his character grown up and developed further. And I mean, his moveset would be too easy to make. Maybe we could even get a hypothetical version of adult Gotenks. If we don't get the GT version, then at least give us the superhero version of Goten. We need some sort of teen Goten in the game. So I'm gonna cheat. Technically the next characters I'm mentioning are sets, but to me it just wouldn't make sense to add one and not the other. Android 14 and Android 15. It's weird these characters weren't in the Tenkaichi games, considering Android 13 and his ultimate form were. Hopefully they fix this mistake for the new game, as Raging Blast 2 did a great job with these characters. I really have a special place in my heart for the Android 13 movie, and I always enjoy seeing more androids, so seeing both of these characters would be awesome. And finally, to end my list, I have the Trio of Danger. The Trio of Danger are underrated super characters that I hope get added to the roster. I do expect to see a lot of Dragon Ball Super characters, and I think it would be a real shame if they don't add most of the new Tournament of Power fighters that we saw in the anime. I especially want to see the trio, as they all have their own unique attacks, as well as combination attacks. Bergamo almost got added to Xenoverse 2 as DLC, but I do hope if Bergamo makes the cut, then so will Basil and Lavender. I mean, again, like I said earlier, it doesn't really make sense to add one and not all three. So, there we go. Those are my 10 must-have characters for Budokai Tenkaichi 4. I thought this would be a fun video to make, to highlight some characters from the franchise that deserve some more love in this new game. I really do hope we get some news, announcements, or something on BT4 soon. Let me know in the comments below some characters that you'd like to see. Thanks for watching. As always, this has been Nickfamous. See you later.
Let's see how he likes a Kamehameha!